Now let me be invisible, okay? You already know the first thing I'm doing is taking my behind down to that Sally Mae headquarters and wiping my student loan debt. Hey everyone, it's Sharana from Pay Your Weight. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Invisible Man, which is directed by Leigh Whannell, who's responsible for directing films such as Upgrade and Insidious 3. He's also the co-creator of the Saw franchise. And so this film stars Elizabeth Moss, Oliver Jackson Cohen, Aldous Hodge, Storm Reid, and this film centers around one of the classic horror characters, The Invisible Man, but this has a modern twist. The story really centers around Elizabeth Moss's character Cecilia, who is a domestic abuse survivor, and essentially her ex decides to commit suicide, and then he leaves his vast fortune to Cecilia, which she believes that his death is a hoax. And then when sudden coincidences turn lethal for her, she has to prove that she is being hunted by someone that she cannot see and no one else can see. And you guys, this film gave me anxiety, okay? So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, hello, so glad you came. I hope you stay. I basically tell you what I enjoyed about the film, what I didn't like about the film, and should you pay your way to see this film in theaters, okay? Because we have had a really bad track record with horror movies, and I just need to make sure that I am protecting everyone's coins, okay? Because I can't take no more letdowns in 2020, and it's only February. So going into what I enjoyed about The Invisible Man. As I said before, this is a modern twist on this classic horror character. And one of the things that I really do appreciate is how they kind of position this film to our times. And more importantly, what makes The Invisible Man invisible is its use of technology. And so I think it's very interesting when we have shows kind of like Black Mirror, where we can see where these technological advances that we have in today's society, where these things that could be good can be used for bad. And that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about The Invisible Man. I love that they bring this modern twist in that really makes sense, and that is something that everyone can relate to, and it actually makes the story very realistic and makes it feel so real that this is something that could happen to anyone. And so also too, I have to say what really makes The Invisible Man work is the performance of Elizabeth Moss as Cecilia. And going back to how this is so relevant to where we are today in society is that this film really does a very great job of talking about domestic violence, survivors of domestic violence, what life looks like if they're lucky enough to kind of get out of that situation. And I think that Elizabeth Moss does such a fantastic job with this character, Cecilia. You're kind of taking through all these different stages of her trying to break free from this relationship, even prior to her starting to have the conclusions that, her ex may not be dead. It could be that he is following her. He's found a way to become invisible. And one of the great things that Elizabeth Moss does such a fantastic job of is really bringing you into her character's world. And a lot of you, if you've seen her on Mad Men, but most importantly on The Handmaid's Tale, you know the range that Elizabeth Moss is very capable of. And I would have to say in Invisible Man, she is just absolutely magnificent. She's so haunting to watch. And I really felt for her character. And it's one of those awkward situations because as you, the person in the audience, you get to see the things that are happening and you understand. It's just like, girl, okay? Like, I see these things are happening. Like, I know that you're telling the truth. But then as you see how she's acting, kind of the characteristics and mannerisms of someone who is basically being stalked and being terrorized, but you cannot see them, it just makes you feel for the character even more. Like, girl, you sound crazy, but I know that this is true. And I think she does such a fantastic job of helping the audience connect with the character and become very invested in what happens to Cecilia. And also too makes it very heartbreaking. And it kind of brings back this tone of what happens when we don't believe those who are being abused. And so I think that is so relevant to what is happening today. And I think that is a very interesting standpoint to really take it from the viewpoint of someone who is trying to escape from a very abusive relationship. And that's one of the things that I also appreciate with them making this more modern and more current to the times as well. But I would have to say, you guys, like Sharana, I know it has all these great themes, but I am here for the horror. I want to be scared. You guys, don't worry, okay? I had 10 heart attacks, 10 panic attacks. My edges gone. My voice was gone. I was screaming. Everybody was looking at me crazy. I know people be sitting there like, how is she pressed? Because like this girl is jumping and screaming. And I was just like, you guys, like my nerves were bad the entire film. And I think that Leigh Whannell does such a fantastic job of how he kind of shoots this film. There's so many beautiful shots because the character played by Oliver Jackson Cohen, he is a very rich man. And really the stylistic tones of kind of some of the settings that they have on location, I thought it looked absolutely beautiful. But also too, he can take these beautiful spaces and really bring it into moments of suspense and terror. And I felt that, and the audience definitely felt that. There was like literally the beginning, like this opening scene, I was just like, you guys, I don't even feel comfortable breathing. Like, I don't know what's about to happen. I just know my nerves is bad. I was jumping at stuff that I shouldn't have been jumping at. They do such a fantastic job of keeping the audience kind of on the edge of their seat, kind of on pins and needles, because you don't know what is going to happen next. And I think there's a very great use of kind of the suspense and the terror to really make you feel as though that you're a part of this horror genre. Now, also too, I'll have to say, I really enjoyed the relationship between Aldous Hodge and Storm Reed's characters. Now, even though it's not something that's very outspoken in the film, I also have to say that I really appreciated kind of this father-daughter relationship as they kind of take Cecilia in as she's trying to transition kind of out of this bad relationship. I really love the positive images of the Black family, of Black men raising their Black daughters. And it's one of the things that's really not spoken about. It's something that you just see, it happens on screen. But I think that it's just something that I really had to commend to really keep these positive viewpoints, these positive views of people going to see what positive images of the Black family look like. And I just wanted to give a shout out to them for that. And also too, even though we don't get to see a lot of Oliver Jackson Cohen, who you may know from Emerald City, which should have never been canceled. Sorry, you guys, I'm still upset about this. And also too, from The Haunting of Hill House, even though we don't get to see as much of him, I also think that he does a very fantastic job. And also too, because this is The Invisible Man, I think there are certain parts of the movie where I think the actors do such a fantastic job of their interactions of, you know, you kind of, you pretty much know that they're in a green suit, you can't see them, but of them still acting with that fear of not being able to see what is happening to them as they're coming into contact with whatever the heck that they possibly think that it is. But even though I had so many things that I really, really enjoyed about this film, I would say one of the only issues that I did have with the film is I think that it really starts at a good pacing. They really jump right into things. They don't take that long to really kind of get the storyline going. But I did feel as though like in the middle part of the film, I was kind of like, when are we gonna get to like the horror part? And like literally maybe like, you know, maybe 15 minutes after I was having those feelings, they really jump started into the horror aspects of it as we really get to see what the deadly things that this invisible man can do. And I was just like, okay, y'all, I'm sorry I said it. Yeah, I got my nerves bad all over again. I'm here for this, but I'm not here for this because I'm scared at the same time. But I would say that there's just a little bit of pacing towards the middle of the film where it gets a little bit slow, or maybe not even necessarily slow, but a little bit redundant, because I need to see what is actually going to happen. I want to get that action. I want to get that suspense that is happening in this horror film. But overall for me, I had a really great time with The Invisible Man. I love their modern twist on it. I love that it's centered around Cecilia's character. I really think that they did such a fantastic job with making this movie very relevant to the times that we were in today, and also taking risk and really turning this into a different version of this, you know, horror classic character that we've come to know over the past couple of years or decades at this point. I thought they did a very fantastic job. So what I would tell you guys to do with you and your coins for Invisible Man, do you want to be scared? The Invisible Man does that for you. Do you want to lose your edges? You probably don't want to lose your edges, but if you want to lose your edges from suspense, The Invisible Man does that for you. Want to see some great performances from the entire cast, especially Elizabeth Moss, who is just giving me everything, giving me life? This is the movie for you. So what I would tell you guys to do with you and your coins for The Invisible Man, I would tell you to pay to see this film in theaters. So those are pretty much my thoughts on The Invisible Man. As always, my name is Sharana from Pair Waits, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. I'll see you soon.